Hi there, it's Jessie here, and a big warm welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here through the highs and the lows of my little life. And yeah, I'm actually finding it really difficult to make videos at the moment because I guess I'm afraid. I'm afraid of what I speak about and how it will be perceived. And I wasn't, and then I was, and then I wasn't, and then I was, and at the moment I am. And I'm sure I won't be again, but I am. And it's part of this process. So it's the second video I'm trying to make today, and it's mad to me that I'm making videos and then not uploading them. That was never, ever an issue. I never even worried about it. And now I am. So I am at a level again of wanting to be perceived and understood in a certain way, which is so bloody annoying. I don't care, like ultimately I don't care, but all of these experiences that I had and my ego fucking did learn its things to survive. And that part of me cares very much so how I'm perceived. You know what I found out recently, for anyone who's into astrology out there, that we have this point in the sky, which is the black moon lilith. And I've learned about this very recently. And even if you're not into astrology, keep an open mind or click away, whatever. So Lilith was the original lady in the Garden of Eden with Adam. And Adam asked her to submit to her, to follow her. And she said no. And she was outcast. She was kicked out, for want of a better term, of the Garden of Eden for being a sovereign being, right? For just choosing something for herself. She said no once and was banished. That's the word, banished. So wherever the black moon Lilith appears in your chart, what sign or what house it's in, is where you will, it's like the part of you that will be shamed by others, that will be misunderstood. It's the part that is sovereign and knows what it wants, and yet will be shamed by others. That's my current understanding of it. It's very basic. Anyway, I highly recommend anyone who wants to do a bit of shadow work and a bit more deeper exploration of themselves, and use it as a mirror, right? It's not even that it is definitely true. It's something to look at, to reflect on. Is that true or not? And both give you answers, right? But my goodness, anyone who's into it, my black moon Lilith is in Aquarius, in the 8th house. So Aquarius, about being an individual in a community. It's innovative, it's forward thinking, it's for the collective, but with a strong sense of self within that. So for me, it's all about community. And where do I fit in? And is everyone being themselves within this group? And is everyone being honored? And am I recognized for who I individually am? No, that is something that I will always be misunderstood by. And this makes a lot of sense to me, where I've sought community my entire life and never found where I fit in. A lot of us can relate to that, right? Strangely. Maybe at least this little group of us here. And then it's in the 8th house, which is about intimacy, sex, merging, everywhere we merge, inheritance, death, beyond death, the realms beyond death. Fascinating. Anyway, it's given me a lot of insight into my shadow and my experience of being shamed or misunderstood by others. And I really highly recommend, if it interests you, to check it out. Where is your black moon Lilith? Have a look at what that means. And it's a beautiful reflection tool, I believe. I'm fascinated by it. And it's sort of about reclaiming or owning that part of ourselves that other people won't understand. It doesn't matter. We do it anyway. Knowing that whatever you do, it will be misunderstood by some, or, to a certain extent. It empowers me to think, well, there's no reason not to do it then. I just have to do it despite that. Which brings me on to my next topic of Andrew Blooming Tate. Is that his name? Andrew Tate, yes. I always forget it. So he's recently come into my experience. I've heard people talk about him, but it's never been come in strong. And then I watched Adolescence, the Netflix series, because 70 million people have watched it. And I thought, I want to know why. What's it? Oh, God, guilt. Anyway, I'll get on to that. So I wanted to watch Adolescence. I knew that there was something to do with Andrew Tate from what I've heard people say they've read about it and the discussion around it. So I wanted to check out Andrew Tate before I watched the series, and I watched a short interview with him, and I totally understand why people don't like him. And surprisingly, I like him. I don't agree with him with a lot, with his positioning, with his vision. It's not in alignment with mine in many, many ways. But there's something about his essence which I like. He is authentic. He has developed a character to succeed in this very narcissistic society that we're in. And to some extent, it's working. Although it's how one measures success. And at least how I'm perceiving him, I see a lot of truth there. I feel whatever he came here to do, he's doing it. And I feel he's extreme in his positioning. And, you know, that can ruffle our feathers, because what about the other side? But he's unapologetic, and he will not be controlled. And have you heard of William Reich's characterology? Because I discovered this earlier this year on the course I'm doing. Fascinating. He was a contemporary of Freud, but is a lot lesser known. Anyway, very, very fascinating. So you've got these 5 character types developed at different stages in childhood. And one of them is the controller/psychopath, which very interestingly wasn't identified as one for a long time, because Reich was that himself. So he couldn't see it. And it came about a bit later. I don't know the details, but you can find them out. Very fascinating. Anyway, so the controller psychopath is like this really narcissistic type, like the leaders, a lot of the leaders we see. Trump, perfect example. There's fascinating, maybe I'll even link it down below, an article which explains this character type. And you see it in Trump, in Andrew Tate. So when I watch characters like this, it makes me laugh, first of all, because it's so gleaming, transparent, the posturing, the need to be the best, the most, to win, to succeed. When somebody uses that many superlatives in one sentence, I think it's a bit embarrassing that they can't see that they're doing that. So I don't agree with that positioning and that stance, but I can see that he will not be controlled. And I think people really don't like other people that can't be controlled. And often we can say he's trying to control others or influence others. I don't see that personally. I see a human being living by their values that they've chosen unapologetically. This man delivers some tough love of his version, his truth. He, victim mentality, see you later. You will be extremely triggered by that man if you have any victim mentality. And I can say that myself. I have victim mentality. Of course, we've all been victimized. Okay, so there's an element of truth. There's a validity to the feeling, but not the story or the narrative or the identity. So I do this, look at me last week, bloody hell. It's still a part of me. But and characters like that will trigger that, because it's something maybe they are making up for something. Maybe they feel incredibly victimized, so they need to be in control. Who knows? It's just interesting to see, right? It's fascinating. We have these figures known by most of the collective. I'm talking about 8 billion. How many of us, what percentage knows who Trump is? A lot. That's significant for us as a collective. Why? Whether you love him or you hate it, he's there. And I really think he's doing his role, just like I believe Andrew Tate is. And it's so tough and it's so extreme, and we don't have to agree with them, but it's waking people up. And I really don't believe he's trying to control or influence what other people think. He says, this is what I think. And he's one of those people that is like, he will so easily disagree with somebody if he doesn't agree with them. So he will expect that from others, I believe. Don't have to agree with me. We don't have to agree with him. So why do we get so mad when somebody seemingly has power and influence? Isn't it the collective? Isn't it the submissive that hands over the power? Yeah. So we don't have to give it time and attention if we don't want to. And if we do, why? What is it in us that's drawn to that? What is it trying to teach us? Do we agree or do we not? You know, these characters, for all of their wrongs, know what it is that they want and are unapologetic about it. They think for themselves. They refuse to be controlled by another. Okay, it's extreme and maybe not super social, right? When we're trying to live in community. But they are doing what a lot of people don't do, which is think for themselves. And so for that, I respect him, what he's offering for the collective, even though it comes potentially with a lot of stuff that we don't understand or don't want to or refuse or reject. You know, nobody's everything. You know you. I know me. I'm incredibly nuanced, and I strive to be a certain way, and I'm not, and I'm so many things, as is everyone else. But we all have a role to play, and I don't know. I'm very curious, and I hope I've said what I've said. He's an extremely controversial and provocative human being, so we will all have strong opinions on people like that. But what is it telling us about us? Does it align with our values or not? Maybe not. That's all right. At least somebody's clarified how we do feel. And from there, we take it back in. So what am I going to do about it? Self-responsibility, duty. There are certain values that align. Maybe not the method or the strategy doesn't align with me because it's very much rooted in competition. Very, very rooted in competition. And I'm a little bit more of the mind of competition is fun, like healthy competition in sports is fun. I think it's definitely an energy that serves us and, you know, can motivate us and stretch the limits. I think competition is great. But when it's at the expense of another human's well-being, maybe I don't think then we need to check it a little bit. So I'm not quite as extreme in that sense. Anyway, what do you think? Any Andrew Tate fans out there? Any Andrew Tate haters? What, indifferent? Unimportant? What do you think? And like the video if you liked it. Oh, and I just want to let everybody know I'm having a bit of a funny thing about this YouTube and making videos not upload. I'm going through a process, but if I'm quiet for a bit, please know I am out and through and survived whatever the heck that was last week, where I got dragged along the bottom of the ocean, and I'm back and I'm feeling good and I'm waking up incredibly grateful for my life and this experience, this short little experience that we have, and I'm out the other end. So if anybody is worried, it's all good, okay? I survived, we survived until the next time. So yes, hit subscribe if you want more of this content, and we'll see you in the next video. Otherwise, have a beautiful day, beautiful life, and I can say with a lot of conviction today, we have got this.